Hi, it's Dr. Laura Grace, and I'm back to share with you some more about dream time and about how all of your dreams, whether they're disturbing or confusing or seem nonsensical, are a gift to help you in your waking life. And today we're going to hone in on a really exciting dream animal, and that is the king and the queen of the jungle, the lion and the lioness. And I'm going to share with you an actual dream, a fairly short dream that a client had and shared with me a few years ago that actually talks about one lion, but it's both, it looks like the male, but it embodies the qualities of the female. So it's kind of got this androgynous thing going on. So we're talking about lion. Think about the king, the king of the jungle. We're talking about fearless self-expression. We're looking at getting outside of the box that our ego has put us in our daily life. We're looking at getting outside the status quo that society tries to put us in regarding our feelings and our thoughts and our behavior. We're talking about going against convention when lion shows up. No one is going to mess with lion. When we look at the hierarchy of the animal kingdom, we're looking at the leader, right? A very incredible force of nature. And no matter what your religious beliefs are, whether you're agnostic or atheist, or you believe in the principle of evolution, or what your spiritual beliefs are like, we can all identify with animal because animal instincts are inside all of us. So when we're looking at animals showing up, particularly the lion, we're looking at these instincts that are very primal, but actually very natural for us. But in our culture, at least here in the Western world, many of those instincts, those urges have been taught, we've been taught that it's not okay. It's not okay to really get angry. It's not okay to embrace our sexuality. Those urges we tend to stifle. And when we push those urges down, what happens is they come out sideways. And what will happen is you'll have a dream like the one I'm going to share with you that this client shared with me. And this one tends to lean toward her sexuality, but they'll come out in dreams, and they'll come out in dreams like with a lion showing up with its paws and its jaws and teeth. And when animal like lion is breaking the skin, when you're getting bit in dream time by a creature such as the lion, or in the last dream video that I shared with you, I talked about how snake had bit the top of my left hand. The fangs, I could feel the fangs. We're talking about these instincts and urges trying to break through the skin of your beingness and trying to come to the surface so you can identify and understand and learn how to integrate these feelings, these instincts, these basic urges, these very important feelings and emotions into your life. So lion, fearless self-expression. Now, lion shows up in other ways too. When we look at astrology, we look at Leo being, the lion is the archetype of Leo. And in that respect, we're looking more at maybe around artistic, creative expression and power and leadership. So it really depends on how lion is showing up for you. But if you have a dream where lion's coming into that dream, and especially if it's coming into the dream maybe in a scary way and is biting you, please don't be alarmed. It's not really meant to be, it might feel like a nightmare, but really what's happening again is these feelings and emotions that are very strong inside of us. Lions representing some of the strongest emotions we can possibly have. When they're coming up through lion biting you, it really means pay attention. Look at this dream animal. I mean, just think about the lion. They're just a beautiful, exquisite creature, both the male and the female. We think of the male lion, think of all the golden hair, the yellow. Often the eyes are yellow. And in this dream that I'm going to share with you, the eyes really show up in dream time. We're looking at, the beautiful fur and the majestic stature of how these creatures just walk on this earth, and the power of the paws. And there's just so much exquisite beauty in lion. And unfortunately, we know that they've really taken a hit and are becoming extinct, which is incredibly tragic. So when they show up in dream time, though, they're coming to you for a very important reason. You are trying to break out of this box of conformity. In a nutshell, that's really what lion is expressing. But I'm going to get into a dream. I want to share with you a dream that a client shared with me. This goes back a few years. And here's what she writes. She says, I'm in an older house and my partner is in the front room, as is my son. They're all in the front room. There's a man with me in the back bedroom and we have been sexual in hiding it from my partner. I think he's a friend of an old friend of ours who's holistic and is into food and nutrition. After we're done connecting, she's talking about herself and this man in the back room. She's coming out into the front room now. She says, the man has given me a shopping list so he can make me a healthy meal. This is the man she'd been sexual with. And I'm going to go get the salad ingredients, which are for a Harvest Bountiful salad. Before I leave, my partner and my son set out with me to buy the ingredients. And as I'm leaving the house, I look around the front of the house and I notice how beautiful the house is. It looks like there's been a skylight that's been recently added. I think, my God, this house is really, really gorgeous. Okay, so we're talking house, we're talking the inner sanctuary of her mind. We're talking attitudes, beliefs, mood. We're talking that when we're looking at buildings and house, we're looking at what's going on in the mind in terms of mainly of what's happening with our attitude, right? So she says, now we walk outside and it's dark. Dark outside means something we're not conscious of. We're walking to the store to buy the ingredients, and I notice that I'm in my residential area, and the streets are real hilly. Reminds me, she says, of the streets of San Francisco. My partner and son are ahead of me, and I'm walking by myself when I spot a female lion. She's quite large, and I'm really startled to see a lion in a residential section, right? This is a dream. This is how it plays out. Very unusual. She looks right at me and I'm afraid, and I'm trying to discern if she's going to attack me out of fear or not. And I'm really hoping that she's not hungry. We look at each other eye to eye and I begin talking to her, telling her not to be afraid of me. She gives me a long look and begins slowly walking toward me. And you can just imagine, now this lion she keeps referring to as a she. But when we talked about the dream and she actually had her sketch out the lion, it's a male looking lion. All right. And think about the male and all the beautiful hair around the crown of the male, but it's walking slowly now toward the dreamer. I think, oh my gosh, she's hungry. Oh no. And I realize that if she's hungry, I'm really in danger because she's going to eat me. I see my partner at the bottom of a hilly street begin calling for him. And as I yell for him, I see that he's looking up and he's moving toward me, but he doesn't see the lion, not yet. She's coming closer now. She gets on top of me and she's incredibly strong. And I know I'm going to be eaten. My partner now sees her and is walking up toward me, but she already has her mouth on me and I could feel her teeth sinking into two places on my body. My upper thigh and around my abdomen. As her teeth sink into my flesh, I realize I'm going to die by being eaten alive by this lion. And I say to God, okay, I need to surrender, yet I keep resisting. I keep yelling out for my partner, but I know he can't save me. It's too late. Now I'm moaning from the pain of her teeth mauling me. And as the dream ends, the lion's eyes are very close together. And they're yellow, and she's looking at me with fierce intensity, and I am mesmerized by her eyes. I wake up moaning from the pain in my body as she mauls me in the dream. My thighs and my abdomen ache as I waken from this dream. Now this sounds like a nightmare, doesn't it? And I think to the dreamer, it felt like a nightmare. However, this dream is loaded with wisdom and information. So again, this is a somatic dream. She's feeling the mauling happening in her lower body. When body shows up in a dream, please pay attention to the part of the body that's the focal point. We're talking the top of the thighs. We're talking the abdomen. Mainly it was her abdomen that was getting mauled by the lion. And what we want to do is when we're looking at the body, you want to notice the chakra, the energy centers. We know we have at least 7. Some people believe we have 12, but I usually work with the main 7 that many of us are familiar with, from the crown chakra down to the root chakra. This line is honing in on this dreamer's abdomen area. This is the sacral chakra, right? This is the abdomen area. So we want to hone in on that. We want to get in touch with, if you have a dream where you're being bitten by the lion, where the lion's biting you, the feelings that come up as you're being bitten by the lion. Because I work with other clients that have had lion dreams, other animal dreams where they've been bitten, but it didn't hurt. So just notice what's happening. In this dream, she's in pain and she wakes up feeling pain. And so see, this is how psyche is grabbing her attention. This is how soul is saying, notice what's going on. There's some very powerful feelings that you're having that you're not allowing to be experienced. You're not bearing witness to these feelings. You're not expressing yourself. So what we did was, you know, of course, when I'm working with a client with dreams, I need to get in touch with what's going on in their current waking life. In this particular situation, this dreamer was feeling tempted by a man that she had become acquainted with, that she found attractive and who was interested in pursuing her. But she had been in a relationship at this point for like 14, 15 years, and she was very committed to her partner and was not going to go outside the relationship. However, they had been experiencing issues, sexual issues in the relationship. She didn't want to harm the relationship, but sexually, she, and I'm assuming her partner too, was feeling very frustrated. All right. Now, this is common in long-term relationships for the sexuality, the energy to wane, right? And there's a lot of reasons that go into it. We could get into neuroscience why that's happening. We could get into the issues in the relationship, why it's happening. We could get into societal pressure, which this dream has a lot to do with, in the box that we put ourselves in when it comes to our sexuality and how to keep it alive and thriving in long-term relationship. So let's unpack this dream. First of all, I want to look at the dream characters. Her son, a younger version of this woman's son, shows up in her dream. So we're looking at the inner child of this woman. We're looking at maybe the divine child archetype making its presence known. She also mentions the man in the back bedroom. This is her secret inner lover, right? This is Eros. This man also, she mentioned, had dark hair. So this is some of her shadow stuff coming up. A shadow being her frustration around her sexuality and the lack of sexual energy in her long-term relationship, and these thoughts of maybe being flirtatious or pursuing or being open to this man who was interested in her in waking life, but not really wanting to go there. So we're looking at the dark hair. This man also was a foodie, right? He was into cooking. He was into, we could look at that metaphorically as into feeding her. She's looking to be fed, to be nourished, to be, to get some kind of substance that had some meat, you know, some energy to it. Outside, it's dark. So again, whenever you have a dream, in the setting, landscapes are really important. In the setting, it's dark. It's a nighttime sky, or there's just not much light out. We're looking at the unconscious. We're looking at an issue in our waking life that we're really not conscious about. Because sometimes you'll have dreams and it's light outside, right? It's a sunny day. So these are dreams coming up that you already have some awareness about the issue, but not enough to really understand the depth of it. In this dream, she was not conscious of this really being an issue for her, not much at all. The hilly streets she mentioned reminded her of streets that she had seen in film or when she visited San Francisco. These could be her emotional ups and downs that she's going through in the relationship around the sexual energy or lack thereof. Now, we want to look at homonyms when we're looking at dream characters. We're looking at the lion. So when we look at a play on words, we're also looking at, you know, break down lion, lion, lying, right? Lie could be lying down or it could be lying. This speaks to the fact that she was having these urges, these primal urges sexually that she didn't know what to do with because it wasn't happening between her and her partner. And there was a temptation on her part to maybe see the man that she had met, I don't know where she had met him, who was interested in her. And that would be then obviously some self-deception going on, or just deception in the relationship. Now, she realizes the lion is hungry. When she realizes the lion is hungry, the dream turns into more of a nightmare quality, because now she knows, oh my God, it's hungry. I'm in trouble. It's going to eat me. So we want to ask ourselves, what am I hungry for? You know, is it passion? Is it eros? Is it new experiences? Is it spontaneity? Some kind of non-conformance? Something, you know, in relationships, it's interesting. 'Cause I've been in a long-term one relationship, and it, you know, we tend over time, and you do this even with your work or any kind of day-to-day schedule, we end up putting ourselves in a box and making sure we have certain routines, and some of that can be very stabilizing and grounding. But when it comes to our sexuality and our creativity and passion, yes, we need some degree of stability and groundedness, but we need spontaneity and mystery, right? So we have to constantly question the boxes that society is trying to put us in, and or that we're putting ourselves in. And I know I do it all the time. I'm constantly trying to think of new ideas, even for this, for my dream videos. And I've got tons of dreams of my own and clients and family members to work with, but I'm always needing to change it up with all my life's work. But that's with my counseling practice as a Jungian practitioner. That's with my creativity. That's with my cooking. Everything I need, I find myself, if I keep repeating, I get stagnant very quickly. Some of us get stagnant more quickly than others, but no matter what, we need to watch that we don't end up in a box of conformity. At one point, remember in this dream, she says to God, so this is her higher belief in a higher power. This is her higher thinking saying, oh my God, dear God, I know I need to surrender. The lion's got me. It's hungry. It's going to eat and get its needs met. I need to keep resisting because it's too late. I might as well just let go. She doesn't let go. She keeps resisting. But we want to look at, what are we trying to surrender to? Again, we want to go back in this dream. She needs to surrender perhaps more to her sexual urges that are coming up and find a positive, healthy way to channel those, right? Not just to put them in a box to squelch them, but to find a way to express them so she's feeling like a whole, W-H-O-L-E, complete person. And then the eyes. As this dream winds down, this lion's eyes are right here. And she notices they're really close. I remember she drew me a picture of this lion, and she pulled up some pictures online for me that she thought represented this lion. And I remember this lion's eyes were very, very yellow. They were quite beautiful. But we want to look at, what does yellow represent to you as a dreamer? When a color shows up, and oh my God, I've got yellow flowers. This wasn't planned. But when a color shows up in dream time, do not ignore it. What does yellow mean to you? Yellow for me is play. It's fun. It's lightness of being. It's cheerful. It's happy. It's not that for everybody, but that's kind of the typical association with yellow, but to lighten up. And then I want to end with the area again in the body. So where in the body did she feel this dream image of lion? And she felt it in her thighs, her upper thighs. Thighs are about movement. Our legs, particularly our upper thighs with our hamstrings, our quadriceps, there's a lot of muscle mass and strength in the upper leg. And that is to move us forward. So again, asking ourselves, if your upper legs show up for any reason in the dream or they're a focal point, what in your soul is trying to move you forward and to where? So in this dream, it's about movement. She's stuck. She's stagnant. She's in this box of conformity, right? She's not expressing herself fearlessly. She's not. She's stuck. So here we want to look at, how can she move herself forward? And when we're talking about then the abdomen, the sacral chakra, and here's a picture of the mandala. I hope you could see this. This area of the abdomen. Look at these colors. This is lion energy too. It's orange, right? In gold and beautiful, beautiful, powerful energy. So this is a whole area down here of the abdomen. I know you can't see my abdomen, but I've got my hand over it. And we're talking about emotions and feelings and relationships and relating to one another, an expression of our sexual energy, our sensuality, our pleasure, the feeling of our outer and inner worlds, and are they harmonious? Are they congruent? We're talking about fantasies All of that coming into play in this area of the body. When we're out of balance with the sacral chakra, with the abdomen area, we tend to be more rigid. We tend to be more numb. We tend to feel more repressed. We tend to be more stuck in emotional rigidity. You know what that feels like. You know what it's like to be in those places, or to be in relationship with somebody who's maybe more rigid than you are. It could feel very, very deadened, not alive, not at all. And that's why she had this dream. So what happened was she ended up sharing this dream with her partner of 15 years and talking about her frustration. And they ended up coming into counseling. And they ended up working through some blockages of just knowing that things were really stuck and stagnant. And the first thing they could start doing was just to open up the door by dropping the judgment around any thoughts or feelings they had about their sexual relationship and about their own individual sexuality. And this woman, this dreamer, was really taking a look then at what she needed to do to move forward and express herself fearlessly. So when Lion shows up, think about fearless self-expression. That's what's going on. That's what's coming through psyche, soul, into you, into dream time, trying to move through you. I hope this helps. If it has, please subscribe to the my video channel, my YouTube channel, and hit the bell, because then you'll get instant notifications. I'm cranking these videos out regularly. You'll get them as soon as they come out. And if you have any comments at all about your dreams, dreams of lion, or any of the animal kingdom, please feel free to leave those below. And I want to end on the note that I started with, that all of your dreams, all of them, even dreams that might be very scary like this one was for this dreamer, are a gift for you. Namaste. I will see you next time. Happy dreaming. Bye-bye.